All right, IndyCar, if we're taking wins away from Penske, you can get Paul Tracy's Indy 500 back. All right, so didn't expect to be doing this one today. Scott McLaughlin and Josef Newgarden get disqualified from St. Petersburg fucking 5 weeks ago, and we're here to talk about it. All right, so aptly, Scott McLaughlin, or the 2-team and the 3-team for Team Penske, got caught manipulating push to pass. Aptly, this show is called Push to Pass. Subscribe if you want to see more. But anyway, they were able to use it on restarts, and they did use it on restarts. Will Power was also able to use it on restarts, but they determined he did not use it, so he did not get disqualified. I believe he lost like 10 points or something, but or maybe it was just money. I can't remember. It'll be on the screen. But yeah, so Pato O'ward is now officially the St. Petersburg winner. And okay, so disclosure, I do like Josef Newgarden. This is true, but I can appreciate this from IndyCar in the sense that they've put the boss's team on blast and said no one's going to get away with this. I can appreciate that. And they clearly broke the rules, and they kept it on the car through Long Beach, or to Long Beach, because they noticed, because they had it on at Long Beach. My issue is historically in IndyCar, they don't do this. I can think of 3 examples off the top of my head, and I know people have kind of talked about this to death, but I haven't heard anybody talk about at least one of these. But 2 years ago, Alexander Rossi's 27 car was found to have illegal ballast in the front nose. Now, I don't know what advantage that would cause. I think it was a water bottle, so maybe it can leak out and make the car lighter. I'm not really sure. But that was clearly illegal. They were not disqualified. 2014, Carlos Huertas, driving for Dale Coyne Racing. He had an illegally a large gas tank in that car, and they won on fuel mileage. This was at Houston. I believe it was race 1, and they were able to keep that win. So that's a pretty big advantage, I would imagine, if you have more fuel than the rest of the field. Not in the way Scott Dixon has more fuel than the rest of the field, but actually having more fuel than the rest of the field. And then recently, I did not remember this one. In fact, I didn't watch IndyCar at the time, but 2012, Justin Wilson driving for, who the hell was he driving for back then? I don't remember. It was that 18 car. Was that also Dale Coyne Racing? It might have been. Dale Coyne Racing cheats a lot, apparently. Or, I'm sorry, is creative with the rules. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But they had illegal aero components, I believe, winglets or something. I can't remember. I don't know exactly what it was, but I heard about this one today. Everyone's been talking about basically everything. None of those situations involved anyone getting disqualified. The extent of any of it was fines. Some of them might have had points penalties. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but my point basically still just is that IndyCar just historically doesn't disqualify anybody. They haven't. And today they said, all right, it's been 5 weeks, but this is illegal. I can respect it. And if it's the standard going forward, I'm okay with it. I don't like the fact that they haven't ever done this, and all of a sudden they feel like they need to make an example, which, I mean, this is a big deal, obviously, but I mean, if having too big of a gas tank is also not a big enough deal to get disqualified, then I don't really understand how this one fits. That being said, obviously this shakes everything up. Pato O'ward is now officially the winner of the St. Petersburg Grand Prix. Sorry. That's his first win, him and McLaren's first win in well over a season. They went winless last season. I cannot remember exactly the last time he won. It might have been Detroit. I don't know. I probably put it up on the screen because I'm way smarter in post than I am actually in front of the camera. But yeah, so huge for them. Huge for Scott Dixon is now the points leader. Colton Hurd is second. Scott McLaughlin is dead last in points. He has 5 points, if I'm correct. Rough couple of races to start the season for him. And it makes the ending of Long Beach even bigger, because if Newgarden's able to win that race, it wouldn't negate this, obviously, but it would have helped, at least, especially going into Barber. Now, that Barber is definitely a place where Josef Newgarden is really good at. I believe he has 3 wins. Correct me if I'm wrong. He may have 4. I think it's 3. Got his first career win over there, too. So, yeah, this is, I think the 2 team is definitely going to be on kill mode coming up this week. I did think it was funny. So, if anyone from New Zealand on this channel, if you don't know, we talk about Shane Van Gisbergen a lot. We have several New Zealand followers, but Scott McLaughlin's explanation for it, that he accidentally used it one time, I'm probably going to call bullshit on that one, because based off the video Connor Daly put out today, he said that drivers hit that thing all the time on restarts, just in case it works, not thinking it actually will. So I'm thinking if you accidentally hit it, then you knew you actually had it, and just didn't want to get caught with it. It did bring up, I've seen other things going around. Who knows how deep this rabbit hole is going to go? There's been videos brought up from 2 years ago of it looking like Josef Newgarden or another Team Penske driver is using push to pass during qualifying, which is not allowed. It was only legal at thermal, but it's not normally allowed at all. And so, God, who knows how deep this rabbit hole goes. It does seem like an exploitable thing that IndyCar has been just kind of hoping is not exploited for a while. That's at least what it seems like to me, because, you could have easily had a system in where you could plug every car, and it's a software, so you could have easily had a system for a long time now where you could plug the car in, basically like how you would check your check engine light in your regular street car. You can plug it in and just run a diagnostic and see what's going on with it. I feel like IndyCar definitely could have had a system like that in place forever, maybe. I don't know. It seems like that's probably around those lines, something that they're going to do moving forward. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. The wild, wacky world of motorsports, where if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And I don't know, just some crazy news out of IndyCar today. Like it's been stated, it's being talked about to death. Here I am talking about it to death, like everybody else. So hopefully this is good for IndyCar. Maybe it'll bring in some viewers on Sunday. Unfortunately, I won't be one of them. I'll be in Dover. But whenever I do get back and I get to watch the race, which will be Monday, I'll have a video up and we'll talk all about it. So tune back in again Tuesday, probably. If you want to hear more IndyCar talk here on the Big Motor Small Blade YouTube channel, here on Push to Pass, aptly named Push to Pass. So we'll see you then.